Welcome back to 500 Days, Strive to Survive. We're on day 5. Today we're going to head into Pleasant Valley, and we have a lot to do in Pleasant Valley, so let's get going. We're going to pick up what we have left here, some coal. We can get sticks on the way. We don't need these cans, don't need food. This food, anyway, is all low condition. See how our water's doing. We're fine. And we're going to collect some cattails outside and then get moving. We have a lot to do in Pleasant Valley. Oh, it's pretty cold out. We won't collect many cattails. Actually, you know what? I think we're just going to... Yeah, we'll collect some. So we have a lot to do over in Pleasant Valley. I want to do a pretty wide arc across the region. By the way, if my voice sounds strange at all, it's because I've been sick for a few days. But I'm feeling a lot better, but it's just residual now. So I want to do a wide arc across Pleasant Valley. I want to head over to the prepper cache that's right at the entrance to the region. And then I want to head to the plane crash and see if I can get some better clothing. Our clothing is okay, not great, plenty of room for improvement. And I want to check a bunch of different spots throughout the region to see if we can't find a bedroll and a hacksaw. So we're going to check a bunch of major locations, like the farmhouse and the community center, but we'll also check a bunch of minor locations that can have good loot. There are a couple of caves and hunter's blinds and stuff that I want to check out. I think tea will be important for this journey since we're going to get pretty cold pretty fast, and Pleasant Valley is one of these regions where sometimes you have quite a bit of distance between your destinations. I think Pleasant Valley is one of these regions that is very popular for late game bases. I might want to warm up before I leave, actually. Now that we have a decent amount of cattails, just go back to the cabin, the hut rather, and just get a little bit warm. Because it should be a warm part of the day, and it just is brutal out. So let's head back to the cabin real quickly and warm up for the journey. We won't need tea for the first leg, I don't think, but eventually we will. So anyway, Pleasant Valley is one of these regions that I think makes a great late game base. Ooh. He scared me. I had no idea he was there. Go around this way. And I'll just walk him. I don't think I need fire, but I have this flare out just in case. So, anyway. Back to it. Let's try this again. It's a great late game region because there are some really great bases there, and there's plenty of wildlife to keep you well fed and with a nice stock of hides and guts. The only real problem with it is it's not anywhere near a forge. So at least until you forge for the first time, you don't really want to hunker down there. And I guess one other issue is fishing. I think you can probably fish on the rivers, but I can't confirm that. But there is a fishing hut on a little lake, and that's kind of a long ways from anywhere else you would want to be. But it's not too bad. Okay, so how many of these do we have? That's plenty. Let's warm up by harvesting some feathers. Oh, I cannot use my bare hands because it's frozen. Alright, maybe let's... Well, we may as well get a little bit of sleep. Be just a little bit better rested. Plus, the bed will warm us up slightly faster. Timberwolf Mountain has some of the same issues late game. I mean, they have a fishing hut right there, which is great, but it's nowhere near a forge. So once you forge, though, this is a great location. Alright, let's sleep a little bit more, and we'll just make this first leg of the journey a little bit short over to the Prepper's Cache and possibly sleep there, and then head to the plain in the morning. It depends on how long it takes us to get there. I was kind of intending to sleep at Skeever's Ridge, but we'll see. Look at how nice that 40 kilograms is early game. Okay, and we have some cans of food, but we don't have a can opener, so I don't really want to mess with that. Okay, good enough. Now let's actually get going. Yeah, a little bit less cold. Not too bad. It looks like if I'm protected from wind, it's only 1 chevron. That's great. Take this out just in case. Do I have any regular flares? No, I don't think so. That wolf might be right over this ridge. Where is he? Oh, okay, that's fine. I can just walk him. I knew I heard him moving around somewhere, but I thought maybe it was the rabbits. So I think I've probably pointed this out before, but a lot of the times when I do this, I end up lighting a fire anyway. But this is called walking the dog. I don't need any special precautions against him. I'm moving at a reasonable speed away from him. And so long as he doesn't get too close, he won't attack me. So long as I'm not encumbered, and I am steadily moving away, he won't get too close. So you can just walk away from the wolf, and that's called walking the dog. I'm going to miss Timberwolf Mountain. I do love this region. Sad to go, but we'll come back here late game, map the whole place out, spend some time here. So you know you're getting near the exit when you see this little piece of wing over here, and this landing gear right over here. You'll see that as soon as we go over this hill. It's just a tire. And some mechanisms, right? And those line up to basically point you out of the region, right? There's that, and you just keep going, and that's the edge of the map. And here's a little passage through these mountains, and that'll take us to Pleasant Valley. Pleasant Valley has some really nice bases, as I was saying before. It has a couple of spaces that have 6 hob stoves. And those are great, because you can process so much meat, or whatever it is you're doing. You can just cook so many teas, or potatoes, or whatever, all at once. And it's the same wood cost, right? I mean, you just need to put wood in for the fire, but most stoves only give you 2 cooking slots. So a 6 hob stove, that's great. You can just get so much done. Alright, we might be able to make it to Skeever's Ridge tonight, actually. Kind of depends on a few things. Now, the plain is one of these places I like to go early game. Kind of like the summit. I do like to go there early, but we need a hacksaw. I don't think it's worth gambling for the hacksaw at the summit. And based on comments, many of you seem to agree with me. By the way, as of the time of recording this video, we've hit 100 subscribers. So that's really exciting. People are interested in seeing more of this series. I'm really happy about that because I'm interested in playing more of this series. So I really appreciate that support, and I'm just super excited that we've hit 100 subscribers. So thanks for that. But yeah, I don't really like to gamble on the hacksaw at the summit, but the plane doesn't require any special equipment in Pleasant Valley, the plane crash. And you can tend to get some okay clothing there. We'll probably find something worthwhile, I hope. Not always. And sometimes you can find a little bit of food as well. On lower difficulties, you can get airline dinners. I think chicken and vegetarian. I don't think those are on Interloper, or at least I haven't found them, or don't remember finding them. But you can find some other foods. There's usually a guaranteed soda. It's not much, but there can be some other stuff up there. Alright, so thanks to our carry capacity, we are not fatigued, and we can take this rope down. I think there might be a way to goat down here as well. Although I might be misremembering it and thinking about the rope climb near the Prepper's Cache in Mystery Lake. But let's see. I just want to take a little look over here. Yeah, I think you can definitely goat down this, but you might take a fall or two. I'm just going to take the rope. But you can definitely goat that. When I say a fall or two, I don't mean anything nearly as bad as... You know what? I'm going to grab that wood. Because now there's a reason to grab firewood other than just making a fire. Nothing as bad as the fall I took in Timberwolf Mountain in the last episode. I just mean I'd probably sprain something. I'm not really interested in spraining something right now. Alright, weather's pretty good. We're going to get a little bit cold, but I think I want to move on anyway. We're just going to loot this little area here. How much charcoal do I have? That's plenty. I don't need more right now. Sometimes there's something in here. Doesn't look like it. Okay, some beef jerky. That's a lot of firewood. I'm probably going to get encumbered soon, actually. But I do sort of want to take that somewhere else. Maybe drop it off at the farm buildings? Is that what they're called? Or the farmhouse, I think. Alright. Let's loot this place, warm up a little bit, and then move on. I don't think I even have a pry bar right now. I'm pretty defenseless. I was checking to see if I had a distress pistol. Sometimes I play on Stalker on Nintendo Switch, then I confuse the runs. What I try to do is, before recording, I log into this file, and I just check what's going on, just to refresh my memory. Yeah, there's usually not going to be much in these places. On Interloper, there's one that's going to have decent loot, and all the others are going to have very minimal loot. But you can still find some clothing or some food. I'll pick up that book on the ground once I'm done checking these things. Alright. See if we have anything in here. Nope. And then these open in some of them, and there can be stuff in there. I know in lower difficulties I've found a revolver in there. But there can be stuff in there. Okay, let's see if we can warm up for just a minute. I don't want to spend too much time here. That's fine. It's pretty warm outside. Let's get moving again. I want to make it to that plain and to Skeever's Ridge, or at least to Skeever's Ridge, by nightfall. Alright, so we're going to go around this hill. And there's a hunter's blind that I want to check. Just on the other side of this hill. Looks like the weather's pretty good. We have a couple hours of light. This should be fine. You know what? I'd rather use these flares right now than another match. So we're going to check this hunter's blind. This can have a bedroll, I think. Then we're going to go over that hill over there and head to the plane crash. Great weather in Pleasant Valley. Pleasant Valley is one of the colder regions. I think the Far Territory is the coldest now. But before the introduction of the Far Territory, this was one of the coldest regions in the game. There's a lot of blizzards here. Let's see if I can hit the broadside of a barn. I still have that other ptarmigan, so I am attracting wolves. I hope this deer won't startle the ptarmigan. I think we found out earlier that rabbit will. No? Not interested? Okay. I really want to make some insulation out of their feathers. I don't remember if you need 8 or 12 feathers, but we're getting close. You know what, let's go up this hill. Rather than go between them over there. This will protect us from sprains a little bit better. Generally, that sprain risk that you get on the bottom right-hand side of the screen, we'll show it in a minute, is going to... It's more or less timer-based. If you have that risk, the longer you have that risk, the more likely you are to get a sprain. So you want to level out as soon as possible. So here's the plane crash. This is a great location for clothing early game. So hopefully we'll find something in here. And then just over there is a basement where we'll probably sleep tonight. Although we might sleep in a cave. We'll see. The wind looks like it's picking up a little bit. Alright, so you can go into the plane right here. We're going to be prioritizing suitcases. That was an interesting noise. There's going to be a lot of bodies around here, so this plane crashed during the first flare, the geomagnetic event that leads to the long dark, the apocalyptic event. Sometimes there's a Polaroid up here, granola bar. I used to check these, but I don't know if it's intended or not, but in Interloper, there's never anything in these anymore. There used to be, but not for a long time now. So now we'll just check suitcases. Okay, not many suitcases in here today. And then we'll go down here. Oh, I thought there was a soda guaranteed down here. I guess there's not. Alright, sorry for that. And we'll check suitcases in the trail of this crash. There's usually no predators up here, but I don't know. Since the wildlife reset, maybe there can be. Alright, I can rip those up for leather at least. We're gonna get a bit cold, that's okay, we'll have shelter soon. Alright, nothing interesting so far. I would love a hat, and I think I still need some inner layers for my torso. There's a cave right over this hill, and I think there's a bed in that cave. Okay, good. Sweatshirt's not bad, not as good as a thin wool sweater, but I will happily take it. There should be a few more suitcases up here near the top. Looks like there's no bodies, though, actually. Okay. Fast film? Sure. Not gonna need that for a while. Oh, here is a body. No crows, though, I guess because of the weather. You have anything for me? Nope. Okay, I guess that's it. So not very much. That was one of the worst trips I've had to the plane, but it's still worth checking, right? We could have found something really good. But we didn't this time. That's totally okay. And now we'll go to this cave right over here. And maybe we'll still go to Skeever's if we warm up a little bit first, because I do want to check that out. But maybe not. Maybe we'll just leave that for another time. And from here, once we warm up, we can head straight to the farmhouse. The farmhouse isn't far. So I don't think we'll need to warm up or anything. I mean, make any teas or anything. Okay, we're warm in here, but that could change any minute because it's going to get dark. So let's... Do I want to start a fire? Let's see. 13 sticks, and I think we have a little bit of coal. Could use one of those. And how many matches do we have? Okay. I think I am going to use a match to start a fire, just to warm up faster. Because I want to keep moving and get to a more secure location before nightfall, if at all possible. Let's give this a shot. So, this is an important cave, because it's near the plane crash, but because it has this bed in it. So if you don't have a bedroll, you really have to travel between beds. And with a fire, this cave can be a relatively secure place to spend a night. Alright, let's add a coal. Probably excessive. And now, I think what I want to do is drop some teas. I'm not going to need them, but why not? And we'll jiggle them. And now, can I probably can't harvest these ptarmigan quite yet. Oh, they're not frozen. Okay, I guess I can. Maybe that's the fresh one. Huh, okay. Let's harvest some feathers. Alright, let's grab a torch, get these teas, and let's get out of here. We're going to head straight to the farmhouse, I think. The weather's still pretty good. And I don't want to be in this cave just smelling up the place. Of course, if you drop food, it doesn't really make sense. If you're carrying ptarmigan or other animals or whatever, guts, it'll increase your smell. And it'll lead animals to you. Predators. But if you drop them on the floor, the predators disengage immediately. They're only drawn by the smell of guts, meat, etc. if you're carrying it. So, really, if we wanted to avoid wolves or something in that cave, what we would have done is drop the ptarmigan on the ground. But I wasn't too concerned. We do have 2 lines. And once you hit 3 lines, I believe that means that predators will seek you out across the entire region. But with 2 lines, they won't, and we were in a relatively safe position. There's usually some wolves down there, and we'll probably have to contend with them, since we're carrying this ptarmigan. But that's alright, we have fire, it's totally fine. So as I said before, we're going to make a pretty wide arc across this whole region. And the first stop is going to be, well, was the plane, I guess. But the first place where we're going to bunker down for a minute is the farmhouse. If you've never been to the farmhouse, it's one of the best bases in the game, for sure. Let's take this. Okay. So, a little bit behind the scenes. This semester, so I teach philosophy. This semester, I'm teaching 2 courses I've already taught before. And I'm teaching 1 course that requires very little prep. So, this semester will be less demanding than most of my semesters. And so I'm very optimistic about putting out 2 to 3 videos a week, even during the semester. You know, that didn't happen last semester, but that's because I was doing a lot of new stuff. 1 second. Sorry about that. Just had to cough with my mic off. But this semester I'm extremely hopeful for it. So we'll see. So from the plane crash and from that cave, you can just head straight down that hill and into this path that's right across from where you end up. And then you can go under this bridge, and then you just climb up to the right, and you'll be able to see the farmhouse. We're a little heavy right now. We're not over encumbered, but I would like to be moving faster. I also think that the wind is against us. Or at least it's not with us. I mean, it's not coming from left or right, but it could be still. So this region is actually pretty easy to navigate. There are lots of paths connecting everything, whether those are paved roads with easy-to-spot bridges or snowdrifts, and there's also tons of rivers. And in general in this game, I find that if you follow a river, you'll eventually end up at a man-made structure. That's generally the case. And I think that makes good sense, right? We tend to put buildings and settlements near water. So in general, if you follow a river, you're good to go. So this used to be an orchard, I guess. And there's kind of a cool poster that we'll check out in the little barn. But oh, look at how beautiful this is. I love when the sky is pink like this. In real life too, at the end of a day, when you have like blue and orange and they blend together. Or in the early morning when it's pink. I'm going to keep a torch going. Because I want to start a fire once I get in here and make a lot of water. So this is a great base. Big house. There can be a lot of loot in there. So we're going to check that out. Oh look, there's a deer carcass over there too. So if we started a fire, or if we had a hacksaw, we could harvest that. We probably won't worry about that right now. Just use it as a feather farm, maybe. Okay, some tools. Probably leave that here. Car battery. Okay. I want to note there's a car battery here. So let's do this. Alright, so now that'll be on the map when we map this area, which we will. Alright, I want to get in here and drink some water and eat some cattails, and then start searching. You know what, I usually go into the basement first, but I'm going to go in here. So we can start this fire as soon as possible. I don't want to keep this torch on me lit this whole time. So let's just eat one of these, keep us going while we start the fire. And then start this fire. Yeah, we'll use a book. There's usually a lot of books in this house, because there's a little office and library. So I'm not concerned about conserving those. This is a really cozy base with tons of space. I have the way I like to lay this out. So we'll see some of that. Okay, I don't need this anymore. And let's load this up with some fuel. Let's just use sticks for the time being. Yep, there's usually a pot here. Let's get that going. We'll do 2. Another 2. We'll do 1. And I don't need to worry about cooking quite yet. Let's drop some of this wood. So we're a little bit lighter. Yeah, drop all of it. Let's drop these ptarmigan. We'll deal with them later. Let's drop these. They're heavy. I'm probably going to take these to Mystery Lake. Bread is about 2 parts flour to 1 part water. Add equal parts salt and rising agent, a small pile about the size of a quarter. Yeast if you're lucky, baking soda if you're not. Raw dough should be tacky but not wet after kneading. Heat at 400 Fahrenheit, 200 Celsius for 30 minutes if the oven works. If you only have a fire, drop the dough in a heavy preheated pan and rotate every 10 minutes until evenly brown and you hear a hollow sound when tapping the crust. Okay, cool. Thank you, backer 3781. I wonder if that's legit. Okay, maple syrup, good. That's heavy. We'll consume that soon. We'll consume it right now. Why not? We are hungry. And let's drink a little bit of water, too. Alright, so we have a lot to loot here. I like to put cooking materials over here. I think sometimes there's a recipe in here. It might be guaranteed, but I'm not exactly sure all the spots it can be in. Yeah, we'll take that. Okay. Better than starving. What else do we got? Anything in here? Nope. Doesn't look like it. Sometimes there's meat in here or fish. Put this flour over here. Alright, that water's almost melted. Sometimes there's salt up here, yep. Alright. We'll harvest some water from here. We're just going to consolidate all of that in one place. Sometimes there's something under here. Looks like there's not. What is our glove situation? Okay, so that's probably better than these. Yep. I'm going to put spare clothing in here for now. We'll deal with that later. Books. Some granola. Anything in here? Nope. More granola bars. Yeah, there's plenty of loot here, so this will keep us going for a little while. We won't have to worry about harvesting a ton of cattails or anything like that. Although we still might. You don't want to have to backtrack for cattails, right? But it is nice to just leave them around so that later if we're starving and we happen to come across some cattails, right, that's just more food in the wild out there, never degrading. So we'll leave some books. Let's see. More books. More books. Okay, we're going to check upstairs. There can be some decent clothing upstairs. Sometimes there's a Mackinaw jacket up here. So how about I get all our hopes up, and then we'll see if it's actually there. Sounds like some of that water might be boiling. We'll be back down there in just a minute. Sewing kit, good. Okay, a ski jacket, nice. Very good, big upgrade. Especially once we get everything repaired. We'll be plenty warm. We're going to drop these books by the stove. Okay. Looks like there's some more film over there. I think there are different film types. Sometimes the film are like, yeah, this is a box of sepia instant film. I don't know if they're all sepia or if they have different kinds of film. We have one more room to check up here. Hopefully that water doesn't boil off. So sometimes there can be a Mackinaw under this bed. So it looks like there's not, but we did get that ski jacket, so that's great. That's a really good find. Okay. We'll eventually replace it with animal clothing, but that's a ways away. And we do have one more toilet. I lied when I said there was one more room. Okay. Cool, now let's get back downstairs, and we still have a basement to check out. Okay, so that's going to take a little while. Let's do one more. Let's drop... Move these ptarmigans so they don't get under the books. Put the books back here, maybe. Yeah, I still want to be able to see them by firelight. So we'll drop maybe 5 of these. I like to carry a few with me, just to get fires started a little faster. Okay. I'm going to harvest some of these bad torches, because we need a few more sticks to keep this fire going long enough. And then we'll head to the basement and see if we can find anything important down there. Yeah, we'll harvest this one too. Okay. And let's turn this lantern back on and head down here. We're really not tired. Okay. Some wires, we'll eventually need that. These usually have potatoes in them. Whetstone, we'll take it. Don't really need it yet, but we will eventually. Whetstones are used for repairing, for sharpening items like the hatchet and the knife. And you can also sharpen those at a... I think it's called a milling machine over in Bleak Inlet, and I think there's one other, maybe in Blackrock. But I'm not sure. Ah! This is my first bag of salt. This is useful for the meat curing box, which we do want to get basically as soon as we start hunting. These drawers, this type of drawer, almost always has carrots or potatoes in them. You can count on some food being in them. That was the least I think I've ever found, actually. Okay, we'll grab that. We are over encumbered. See if we can find any clothing in here. Sometimes there's socks or underlayers. New jeans. Okay, I don't really need those. I guess they are technically a little bit better. My old jeans. Alright, nothing there. Okay. Almost done here. Okay, so I think that's basically it for this location. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Just had to cough. Okay, we can turn this out. See what we're doing here. 10 minutes until boiled. Yeah, this is all good. We'll light a torch to go upstairs. Alright, what food do we have? We have these potatoes, which we could cook if we had more time on the fire, but they're going to take some time. Well, let's throw one cedar on. It's still early in the night. And let's place... Okay, I'm just going to drop these potatoes and place them that way. That'll be faster. Okay. Let's drop this. I don't really need to carry it. Let's drop this. This I think I'm going to bring to Mystery Lake. Well, it's 10 kilograms. I'm going to drop it. We'll worry about that later. But the flour here. We might take some of the flour with us, because the flour could be good for Bannock's. And that's just a good source of food. We could carry some oil with us, too. Alright, let's take that. Take that. Let's do one more liter. There may or may not be time for that. Yeah, there will be. And let's start... Here, let's grab a torch, because this is kind of hard to organize in the dark. Let's drink some water, and then start placing it down here. Oh, there is one more spot to loot, actually. It's not in the house, it's the porch. There can be some loot on the porch. So we now have tons of water here. We're not going to leave a lot of food, because we don't have a lot of food to spare right now. Let's make a little note in our journal. We have batteries outside the Pleasant Valley farmhouse shed. We have salt bags. Well, let's not do that. Let's just do... Let's start getting into actual bases. Pleasant Valley farmhouse. Water, salt, firewood. We're going to leave a pot behind. We're going to leave flour, some oil. Probably don't really need to note that down. Okay. Alright, got some more time here. And let's see what else we can do in this time. We're going to leave some of this stuff over here. Should I take this? Yeah, I think I will. We're going to be lugging it around for a while, but I really want to get it to Mystery Lake. You know what? I'm actually going to take 2 sewing kits with me. Okay. We're going to throw in one more. It's going to be a while, and this is replenishable, so I'm not too worried. Because we're going to need torches to travel anyway. Okay, let's put this right here. No, I said I want to. Give me that. Okay, what else can we leave? We're going to leave some tinder, so we'll leave some of these cattail heads here. Maybe 20 of them. We have a lot of rose hips. I want to keep those. I want to eventually use them for pemmican bars, so I'm going to leave those at Mystery Lake. I think that's where our mid-game base is going to be, our first one. We can repair some clothing. That might be something worth doing. Let's leave some spray paint. That can go maybe over here. I'll never see that in a million years. Let's put it on this shelf. Now, let's put it right here. Okay. Let's see, we have some clothes we need to tear up. We'll probably take that with us. That's not a bad book to read, because we will want to fish to deal with scurvy. Let's leave these wires. Let's leave a whetstone. Some wires down here. We'll eventually need these wires to repair the transmitters. The radio transmitters. When we do signal void, which I think I am going to do. Okay, so let's take these potatoes and eat them. So in signal void, you have to go to a bunch of different regions and repair transmitters, and Pleasant Valley has a transmitter. And so we'll need a battery, some wires, and some scrap metal. Okay, just 5 minutes left on that. What else can we drop? Gonna take all the teas. Yeah, I'll just rip up some clothing. I don't need that anymore. We'll repair some clothing in the morning, maybe, if we aren't that tired. I'm going to take all of this food, I think. Maybe I'll leave this because its condition isn't great. There'll be some emergency food. And then we'll leave some flour, and maybe we won't leave oil here. Yeah, yeah, good. We'll leave that oil here to make Bannock's in case we come back and we need some food. We'll take these. Yeah, I think we're going to take the rest of everything. We're pretty light right now. Okay, let's take this water. Let's replenish. Okay. We'll put this away and harvest it. Let's grab some torches. We're going to need them for tomorrow as we travel. You know what? We'll take one pot and our skillet too, so we don't forget them in the morning. One more. Okay, cool. Now let's grab the skillet and the pot. We're going to head upstairs and sleep up there. We're in great shape. We're going to keep moving in this episode. We're going to head over to the small barn and then the big barn. You'll see what that means in a minute. There's tons of cloth here, by the way, because all these windows have curtains. But we're not going to deal with that right now. All right. So, food. Let's eat this beef jerky. We had some potatoes. Let's eat this one too. I'd rather hold on to the cattails. Top off our water. Okay. And let's get some... That was a very upsetting match. Put that away. Okay, and now let's get some sleep. It's not going to let us sleep 10 hours, but I'm just going to say 10 hours. It'll probably be 8, maybe 7. Alright. Pretty early in the day. Probably going to be a little bit cold, so we can take a minute to repair some clothing. Now that we have some clothing worth repairing. Oh, that's actually 83%. Let's repair this. Actually, I don't want to. I don't really want to repair any of this because I'm not going to be keeping it long term. I think I'd rather just move. Okay, let's get moving. Drink some water. We'll pick up a little bit more water on the way out, actually. I like having 2 or 3. Okay, so let's grab... None of this. This can all stay... Oh, we're going to take this with us, too. And we're going to leave the salt here. We'll have to deal with getting salt later, but I'm not carrying 10 kilograms of salt. That's just ridiculous. Let's actually go out here on this porch. This is a great place to map because it's still warm, this outdoor porch. So let's map. Great. And how many do we have? 8. Now, we're going to go to that small barn over there. That's the first stop, but let me just make sure we're not forgetting anything. We are. We're forgetting the ptarmigan. I want that. Maybe I should harvest these before leaving. At least one of them. Let's harvest one of them before leaving. So we're not carrying 2 stinky birds with us this entire journey across Pleasant Valley. So let's just get this one. Okay, great. And, and there's some meat to that one. Ah, alright, let's harvest that too. I thought I harvested the feathers from the one that I already got the meat off of, but I guess I did not. That's okay, it's going to be nice and warm. And we're going to make some good time today. Let's pick this up. Let's eat... Let's eat these carrots. Well, maybe they're good for recipes. I'm going to hold on to them, maybe. Let's eat this granola bar. Sounds like it's windy out, that's okay. I know this region pretty well. I'm not too concerned, even if there's a blizzard. Yep. And we're just going to go. This will at least protect us from wolves as well. So look, there's a snowdrift right here, and this is a path, right? It's pretty easy to navigate Pleasant Valley so long as you just follow the paths. And the barn is going to be right in this path, just off to the side. Telephone poles are a great thing to look for because those almost always, maybe they always do, unless there's a... Yeah, okay, I guess there are exceptions, but they almost always will lead to a man-made structure, right? They're supplying power somewhere, or at least they were supposed to be supplying power somewhere. And here's that little barn that we were looking for, right over here. Let's check this vehicle. There's usually nothing in these, but there can be some food. And now we'll head in here. No problem, barely cold. Alright, and now we're warming up again. Now this is a cool spot, and I'll show you why. You can sleep here. It's not very warm, but it is a bed, and it does give you a bonus. There's... Oh, decent thermal underwear. Do I have... Okay, cool, great, good find. Let's put that on the inside. I think exterior clothing gets more damage than animal attacks. There's a fire barrel, so that's nice. And then there's a little secret area that I think a lot of people miss. Let's take some reclaimed wood. Right up here, you just have to crouch and you can climb up this plank. And then you sort of navigate through this whole upper area. And there can be some okay loot here. It's pretty uncommon, but you can find an aviator cap or a rabbit skin cap up here. Right over there. And it looks like we don't have those. But it is worth checking, because those are very good caps. Ooh, I didn't know you could fall down that way. I didn't check that backpack, did I? Well, we need to spend a little bit of time here anyway. So there's a little secret. We need to spend a little time here anyway to warm up. I can make use of that blizzard. That's perfectly fine by me. But, I don't want to be freezing the entire time. Okay. Where did I fall? I guess right through there? That's strange. Where did that happen? I'm gonna have to watch this back. I always do anyway when I'm editing, but where did I fall? Whoa, that's weird. Right between those two planks. Okay, weird. Yeah, I don't think you can blame me for that. Okay. So let's just chill here for a second and get a little bit of warmth going, and we may as well get some rest while we're at it. Okay, I mean, that's going to deteriorate real fast. I was hoping that maybe the blizzard would calm down, but that's okay. Let's just get moving. We're at full health. It's totally fine. I think I forgot to get some water, but that's fine too. We'll just get more at the next location. And I can also lose some thirst, and it'll just drain my health a bit, which is also fine. So, this is a blizzard, but there's a road right here, and you can follow this road more or less to the next location. So that's what we're going to do. Fortunately, the wind is not directly against us, and the road gives a slight speed bonus, so this shouldn't be too bad. Basically, we're going to go this way until we find... We're going to pass a bridge. Go check out this car real quick. So in case you don't know, unless wildlife, specifically wolves, I think bears too, unless they're already near you when the blizzard hits, they are not out in blizzards. So I have a couple of stink lines right now because of that ptarmigan, but I don't have to worry about wolves because of this storm. Now, timberwolves are an exception, and now timberwolves can be in lots of different regions, I think including this one. So if there are Timberwolves, I have a problem. I do have some marine flares. You can use those as defense. And I will. But, in general, blizzards are a little bit safer in terms of wildlife, but it's very easy to get lost. If Pleasant Valley wasn't so easy to navigate, I would just stay at the barn or something like that and wait until this blizzard passed. Also, I'm not taking any chances to go do other stuff, so there's like a little barn over there, but I can't see it, and I don't want to get lost in this blizzard. I'm just going to stay on the road, and basically the landmark I'm looking for is once I find a car, there's going to be a path. I'm going to take that path to the left, and that'll lead me to what I call the big barn. So that little place we went to a minute ago, that's the little barn. And then there's the big barn. I think in the game, they're both just called barn. One's big and one's little. This is a good region. People hate this region. People also hate Forlorn Muskeg, because Forlorn Muskeg has all those things it has all that fragile ice, and you have to path around it kind of weirdly. But I like both regions. A lot of people like Pleasant Valley too, but it's very cold, right? These blizzards are pretty common, I think. I don't have any science to back that up. I'm sure Bashrobe or Zach or somebody has some more information about that. So here's the car, and look, there's that big entryway into this path leading to the barn. It's pretty obvious. But I'm pretty sure blizzards are more common in Pleasant Valley than in most regions. Okay, so now we'll just follow this, and this will bring us to some little, I don't know, I guess they're stables for animals. And then that'll bring us to a barn. There can be a bear, or at least there used to be. Right? All my wildlife knowledge is just different now. It's all obsolete, and we're discovering it together. But there used to be bear and wolves near this barn, which also makes it a weirdly good base, but it only has a fire barrel. So the barn should be right over there. We're going to walk past these buildings first, check if there's any loot. Yeah, Pleasant Valley outbuildings. And then there's the barn right there. Oh, looks like the blizzard just ended. Nice. Perfect. Sometimes you can find arrows at this archery target. In lower difficulties, I think you can also find a bow. But you can't find a bow. You can't find any weapons like that, any projectiles on Interloper. You have to make the bow. So it looks like there's no arrows here. On lower difficulties, you can also find a hatchet, because I guess somebody's practicing throwing hatchets. Then you see that bridge right up there, right past that burnt house? That's where we're going to go next. So it's pretty easy to navigate this area. You can just go from road to road. Let's check these vehicles, and then we'll go inside. And I don't want to spend much time here. I want to continue the journey across Pleasant Valley. And I want to get down to Thompson's Crossing, which can have a lot of great loot. Okay. I almost lost the barn. I don't know. I don't know where my mind was going there. Okay. So, let's just loot this place fast and move on. This is going to be a slightly longer episode than usual, but I am aiming for, 45 minutes to an hour and 15, so it should probably still be around there, but I don't care. What I care about is getting where I want to go and making progress. Okay. There can be lots of stuff here. There can be a hammer here, I think. There can be a hacksaw, I think, but I don't really know anymore. Sometimes there's stuff over here. Okay, well, we got a whetstone. That's useful. As a plant goes to seed in the fall, a period of hibernation sets in until spring. As the weather warms, plant seeds into loose soil with plenty of sun. This one always strikes me as like it starts almost as poetry, and then it's just about how to actually plant. Keep moist but not wet. If the final frost has not passed, keep seedlings indoors at night, as a single shock of cold can stun, if not kill, young plants outright. Spread plantings out over several months to keep producing into the fall. Green leafy vegetables will survive the following winter indoors. Thank you, backer 3781. Those don't weigh anything, so I always like to pick them up. Let's see if there's anything over here. No, a little sparse on the loot today, but lots of places to check. There is a guaranteed stim here, I believe. That'll be upstairs, so we'll check that out. Do I have any stims already? I don't think I do. No. Okay. Got a fire barrel. Pick up some more wood. We don't need this. This is for making bullets, but there's no guns, and I'm just not interested. I'm not sure if making bullets increases your firearm skill, like how making arrows increases your archery. Okay, so I don't see that stim. Should be under here, maybe? Yep, here it is. Okay, emergency stim. It could be over on that shelf against the wall, or under that shelf, or under this. Another whetstone. We are swimming in whetstones. I'll probably leave one of them at the community center. Oh yeah, speaking of which, we have, let's just also say, whetstone sewing kit. Okay, so that's it for this spot. I think what I want to do is go outside and map, assuming I can, and then come back in, warm up a bit, and get moving. So when you map, you should really drop everything that smells and crouch to try to prevent animal attacks. Okay? Let's go back in here. Let's warm up a little bit. And I want to warm up fast, so I am going to start a fire. How many matches do I have? I haven't found matches in a while. Is that really wise to start a fire right now? Yeah, I'm not that worried. And I can throw some of this reclaimed wood on. And then we can always take a torch to go. So I think that's the plan. We'll take a torch to go. Am I all out of sticks? Okay, that's fine. I'll pick up sticks on the way too. The next leg of the journey is also pretty easy to navigate. And there's a couple of ways to do it. But there's a lot of ways to do it well. So we're going to head to Thompson's Crossing after this. That's a pretty wide arc. We've covered a lot of ground in this episode. Okay, come on. I don't want this to be what stops me. This is what 80% fire starting looks like. Wow. Okay, so that was 3 failures at 80%. You know, I was okay, that's 4 failures. When I was an undergraduate, when I was in college, I was a math minor. I was a math major for a while. But the math minor, for whatever reason, didn't require statistics. So any statistics I know, I had to teach myself later on. And it's not that much. But, still, 80%. Come on. Help me out. Alright, let's just warm up a little bit. And get some more torches. We're not going to need teas. It's a pretty short trek. But let's see if there's anything we can cook or prepare while we're doing this. We can make some birch bark tea. That'll level our cooking. Some birch bark tea. And in the meantime, let's actually prepare some reishi. Up, cooking 2. Nice. So cooking 2 gives us 10% extra calories from any cooked food item. Not too shabby. Alright, let's... I want this to be a little hotter. I'll use some coal. We're going to go through a transition cave anyway. And let's make some more birch bark. And let's make some reishi. I know this isn't very efficient, but I want to keep it going one at a time. I don't want to... Well, you know what? We're good anyway. We're good here. Alright, let's take everything. Let's grab some torches. What's our weight look like? Perfectly fine. And then we'll head out. Still plenty of time. So, the first few episodes were like a day per episode. But now we're moving a bit. I don't want this one. That one's pretty good. And... yeah, alright. It's the one that's on fire, so forget it. Let's just take it. Okay, let's eat a little bit. Let's just eat this granola bar. And drink this. And assuming the weather holds out, which it should, it just changed not long ago, this fire will protect us for the journey. We'll process those feathers when we get there and deal with this. So, this burnt house is what you're looking for. There's a bridge just behind it, and so we're going this way. Nice clear day. Those crows don't mean anything. They just mean that crows can spawn. That's it. Oh, it's actually quite warm right now. I wonder if part of that is due to the torch. It does provide a small warmth bonus. So look, there's these little snowdrifts here, right? This is a path. This is a road. And so in general... wow, it's so pretty. In general, I got distracted by how beautiful this game is, which is one of the reasons I love this game. In general, you want to follow obvious paths. Like, don't get too clever with it if you don't know the maps super well. If you find a road, take the road. If you find snowdrifts like this, like a path like this, just take it. And that generally leads you somewhere you want to be. So I was talking to someone in the comments. Ooh, hello. You know what? That torch isn't going to last much longer, so let's light this one. And now, let's scare you off. Come on. Go ahead. That was an ideal situation. You ran the opposite direction, so we don't have to worry about him again. So, I was talking to somebody in the comments about why so many different people love this game. And they proposed that it's because it's about the basics, right? It's about food, shelter, warmth, these things that are universal for human existence, right? Need, bodily vulnerability, and dealing with that vulnerability. And I want to make a couple of comments on that quickly. First, there is a pleasure that comes with satisfying our need, right? We don't just eat to live. We also live to eat, right? So not only do we need food, but we also like it, right? When we satisfy our needs, we actually like that. So that's one thing. Two, and this is something we didn't talk about, but I'm just thinking about it now. The game is beautiful, and I'm sure that's subjective, but it is stylized specifically to be aesthetically pleasing, right? Like, not every game is made to be aesthetically beautiful, even if it has great graphics and stuff, right? Like, beauty isn't necessarily the goal. Lots of games want great graphics so that they can be realistic, but that's not the same as this. This is like you're in a painting, right? And I think beauty is one of these things too, that I'm not sure if it's universal, but it probably is. I think what is beautiful, what counts as beautiful, that's probably subjective. But I think humans in general, to some extent, value beauty. That startled the heck out of me. You could see the little mouse jitter. Alright, I don't really care about that church right now anyway. I'm just going to walk this dog for a minute. So let's see if there's anything over here worth getting. We have fire, so I'm not strictly walking him because I have fire. That's keeping him away. But I'm also going to keep my distance. He won't approach through the fire, but if I get too close to him, then he'll attack. I want to check this little hut. Okay, pry bar. At least we have some defensive weapon. There can be a thermos in here, which is what I was hoping for. And now we're going to head to the community center. We don't need to deal with him right now. Okay, so I think I'm going to call it here. Next time we'll loot this whole place. And by this whole place, I mean not just the community hall, but the entirety of Thompson's Crossing. And if there's a building across the river, that building too. And then we will head to Mystery Lake. So I think next time we'll get all that looting done, and we actually will get to Mystery Lake. That's the intention, and I think that's very reasonable. And once we're in Mystery Lake, hopefully we're going to start finding things like hacksaws, bedrolls, and hammers, and then we can get into forging. So I hope that happens soon. Thanks for joining me. Before you leave a like and a comment, please. It really helps grow the channel. And if you want to see more, please subscribe and turn notifications on. Until next time, good luck out there. Strive to survive. Bye-bye.